Hello everyone, this is Mumbo here, welcome back, and today we are back on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 58, and I'm very happy to see you. In fact, I am in a generally good mood right now, and that is because I've just finished watching an amazing film. It seriously was awesome. It's called The Usual Suspects, and I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but I definitely would suggest watching it. And what I was thinking is, after I finished watching it, I knew I had to record this Hermitcraft episode, and it got me thinking, what are my top 5 favourite films? Definitely Inception, it's definitely in there, The Usual Suspects, Wolf of Wall Street, Fight Club, and some other one. It might be Shutter Island, District 9, Lawless, one of the Batman films. I mean, there's so many good films out there, and a lot of them I probably haven't seen. And I started thinking, well, I've got 250,000 subscribers, why don't I ask you guys? So what I want you to do is go down to the comment section right now and put down a comment stating your top 5 favourite films, because I would love to hear them. It will provide me with endless watching entertainment, and I'm very excited to be reading those comments. But anyway, what are we going to be doing in today's episode of Hermitcraft? Well, the first thing that we have to do is we have to do the interior of this house. Some may call it modern art, I just call it ugly. It's horrible, and we are going to be working on that. So I'm going to be doing some decorating. I'll try and get my creative juices flowing, and we'll see what I can come up with. First off, I have done just a little bit of outside exterior work on the house. I mean, of course, we added the door. That was the first thing that we had to do, but also I've got a little bit of detail in these stairs here and a window out the top. And honestly, I don't really know if it looks good or not. I don't know if it adds to the build. My issue is that it looked a little bit boring from the front. And actually, taking a look at it from this angle, it feels like we could do with some more stairs. But it looks like I'm almost running out of them now. Let's just see what this will look like. Yeah, you know what? I think that actually looks a little bit better there. Alright, well, so there is the outside stuff. I don't know, I'll probably end up doing a little bit more work on this. But if we head inside, we have got a functional little home here. First off, we have got our crafting bench. Then inside, we have got the kitchen. It's very basic, of course, it is a very small house. And we've got a grill, a little oven down there for cooking. And then if we head up here, you can see we've got a little upstairs area, fenced off, just to keep the kids safe. And bedside table, and of course your bed. So you've got all of the bare necessities, but I think this works quite nicely. And yeah, I do actually quite like the way this place looks. I mean, when I first built it, I was a little bit like, whoa, that's a bit crazy. And I still don't really know about this mad roof that I have going on that also has the pitch. I don't know if I've done that correctly, but yeah, as far as the house goes, you know what, I'm fairly happy with it. For my next project, we're going to be working on something that I've never ever even tried or thought of doing in Minecraft before, so this is going to be completely new for me. But I feel like this town is the sort of town that needs a watchtower. I mean, as far as like actual Minecraft goes, we get bombarded by mobs over here because none of the area around this is lit up, and they seem to just all flow in through this fence. So it definitely does require a watchtower, and I think this would be a pretty good place to do it. I mean, first off, you've got a fairly circular little plane of land here, and it could go right up. I don't know how tall we're going to make it. We're not going to make it ridiculous like Burj Dubai, 700 meters tall. No, it will probably be around about 40 to 50, but I think it could look very, very good. Now, I need to think of a design. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to scour the web for any cool inspiration, and then I will hop into a testing world and try and come up with something. So I've done about 5 or 10 minutes or so work on our fishing town, and yeah, this is what it looks like now. Wow, it looks really good, doesn't it? I've put the time in, and I'm just kidding. I can't claim this for any longer. This is Kargath by Madness64. Now, I'm sure you all know who Madness64 is. I mentioned him in a video just a little while back when I was building the fence. He really is a fantastic medieval builder, as you can clearly see, and this is a world that he has put together, and it is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to be using this one as inspiration for some time coming. Now, just to give you a very quick heads up, I'm not going to be copy and pasting builds from this into Hermitcraft. Like, I'm not going to be doing them block for block, because then there isn't really any creativity involved, and that's no fun. But I am going to be using it as inspiration, obviously. And over here is a very, very nice looking watchtower, and I think this is the sort of thing that I want to be building in our Hermitcraft fishing town. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look around and try and work out just how many resources we're going to need for this one, gather them all together, and then get to work, because I'm excited to have something like this in our town. I think it will look really awesome. But like I say, this is all done by Madness64. I'll put a link to his channel and the world download in the description so that you can check that out for yourselves. Alrighty, so I've made a tiny bit of progress on this build. We have done the base structure now, and I've got to say, I have made a good number of mistakes. Like, a decent number of mistakes here. I built the whole thing completely wrong the first time I did it, so there we go. That just shows how awful I am at following someone else's instructions. But I feel like this is actually looking really cool. You can see that I've used a slightly different block type and design to the one that Madness uses. He uses a lot of cobblestone, and I wanted to use a bit more stone brick, simply because this is a much sort of cleaner looking town. It's meant to be very structured, and stone brick is just a nice looking block. So that is what we are going to be going for here. But all in all, I think this is very promising. This is very promising. Hopefully, this should look in place and good in our town. It is going to be incredibly tall. That is one thing that I have noticed. So it's going to be a bit of a shock to the system once it's all built. We might have to upscale some of our builds around here, because otherwise they're going to be completely dwarfed by this monster. But like I say, I am feeling very happy about this. And now I am going to continue doing what I'm doing, which is just placing down these blocks in various locations and hoping that they work. I've done a little bit more work on our watchtower, and as you can see, it really is gaining some height now. But there's one thing that I have noticed that is starting to annoy me a little bit, okay? I noticed it in the beginning, but I was like, I'm sure it'll be fine. But now, I can't deal with it any longer. This house here does not match our watchtower. They just don't work well together at all. It's just two completely different types of build. Like, this is definitely medieval, and so are pretty much these two-ish. I mean, I'm not really going for a full medieval look here, but I am going for something that works well together. And these two houses, no. The materials that I've used here, it just doesn't work. So I think what I'm going to do is, once I finish doing this watchtower, I'm then going to head over to this house, and I'm either going to completely take it down, just completely destroy it, which I don't want to do, or I am going to try it out using stone bricks, a little bit of cobblestone, a little bit of wood, just to mix and match the materials so that it matches up with all of the other builds that we have going on. Because if you take a look at this thing, this clearly matches everything we're doing here. You know, we've got the fence, it matches it. We've got these builds over here, it matches it. No, this one is completely out of place, and I don't know why I built it using these materials. Perhaps I was trying to be experimental again, which, well, let's face it never goes well. But anyway, I'm going to continue on with our watchtower. Hopefully, this is going to end up looking pretty sweet. Just another really quick progress update to say that I've added another layer to our layer cake here. And this is where things are going to begin to flare outwards. So this is where the watchtower is actually going to be, in around about this location. The actual watchtower itself, I'm not really that worried about. Building the roof, however, the roof for this watchtower looks very difficult, and it really is going to test my abilities, so it's going to be interesting. But hopefully, by the next progress update, we will have a working watchtower, even if it doesn't quite have a roof yet. Whoa, look at that. Yeah, the watchtower, it's coming together. Okay, so we have got the little pod in which you stand on. As I mentioned earlier, there is no roof for the minute, and I'm going to be adding that in a couple of seconds. But this part was really strange, because to do it, obviously, with the new, well, sort of new way that you place the logs, in which it depends on which block you place it on, that made doing this a lot more difficult than I had imagined, because all of the logs have to be standing like the correct way up, and that meant that I had to place like twice as many blocks and then remove them all. But here we are, it all looks good. And now lastly, for the final touch, and that is the roof, and then we'll have ourselves one badass looking watchtower, I must say. I just thought we would start this progress update inside the watchtower itself. So this is what it looks like. And yeah, it looks pretty groovy, doesn't it? I can't believe I just said that. I'm not like an 80s dad, but it does look pretty cool. And you can see the road off in the distance. It would have been nice like if I had cleared out that and you could see the pathway going all the way along. If we did have my render distance on like the furthest possible one, then we might be able to catch a glimpse of my other base from up here. But anyway, now we are going to head over to this cobblestone tower that I have created, because we need to remove that. So this is going to take some aim with the ender pearl, and I will just hop on down. The suspense is building here. This was genius. This is really dragging it out. And then we are going to walk over to a good position to view this from. This is going to be my first time seeing it as well. So here we go. Oh yes. Oh yes. I am liking that. That looks cool. Does it not? How good is that? This is a sweet build. That has gone exceptionally well. Oh man, let's take a look at it from outside the base as well. Ah, I am getting excited, as I'm sure you can tell. Yes! Oh man, this is brilliant. I'm going to take a look from all the angles. I'm going to just spend like 20 minutes just roaming about my base, trying to find good angles to take a look at this. I want to go on top of this tree. That's what I'm going to try and do. Probably fail in the process. This isn't going very well at all. I just want to take a look at it from like an aerial perspective here. So let's just hop on up through the leaves. And yes, there it is. That was totally worth it. This looks amazing. What an incredible looking build. I am so happy with this. Wow. So the Watchtower is done. The Watchtower is done, finito, complete, and I am very happy with it. We are quickly going to sort of semi-rebuild this house and see if we can get it to match up to our Watchtower. If not, then of course I will have to take it down, because there is no way I am destroying this. That thing, comparatively, is pretty ugly. This is beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy, I'm sure you can tell. Okay, so that has been done, and may I just say, I am feeling great, as I'm sure you can. I watched that awesome film today, I've built an awesome watchtower, and now the house that I wasn't so sure of looks 10 times better. Look at that. It actually looks very nice indeed. I think it's something to do with like the additional detail that you get with the stone bricks. You get like a completely different feel to it, and it looks absolutely brilliant. I mean, of course, it also fits in with our watchtower, which is all good news. So that means that there is going to be no destruction of buildings today, which is always good, unless something goes really wrong later, in which we have to destroy the whole thing. That'll be a shame. But as you can see, yes, it is all going well. Our fishing town is definitely coming together. But now we are going to be working on something else. And I've got something in mind, actually. I have an idea in mind, and I want your all kind of opinion on it. What I was thinking is I could build something that goes all the way along like this, like cuts through underneath this hill. I think that will be really awesome, and in fact, I think I'm just going to go straight ahead and do it. It'll be like a big empty area held up by like stone brick pillars, and it would look like a bit of a restaurant, which would be strange considering once again we are aiming for that medieval look, but I think that would be a really cool idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start work on a little bit of terraforming around here and just trying to work out how it's going to go, and then I'll be right back with you. So I've done something. Don't really know what that something is though yet, but I think I'm just going to persevere and see what comes of it, because at the minute I think it looks okay. Okay, so what we have here is we've got a cobblestone trim. I might actually change that out for stone bricks just because it looks a bit crazy, a little bit too busy for my liking. And then obviously we've got the cobblestone pillars and the cobblestone path. Yeah, I think I am going to change that into stone brick, but you can see what I'm trying to do here. And then also we have the cobblestone pillars, and they are supposed to be looking like supports. I might do a little bit more work on those so that they look a little bit more like official. For example, I could put them a bit like that, so it looks like it's supporting more land. That might work a little bit better. I don't really know. I'm going to have a little play with it, but I thought I would quickly show you the initial idea just so you can see what I'm trying to do. I have gone a little bit further into this one, and I still don't really know what I'm doing, which is a little bit odd if you're asking me. I'm building something that I don't know what the purpose is for just yet. I have a few ideas, one of them being a wheat farm. I think this would look pretty cool if it was filled up with wheat. The next one is a storage area, and I know what you're thinking. Mumbo, you do not need another storage area, but we do need one for this town. I keep having to go back and forth to my base, having to endure those lag spikes that take like 5 minutes to go away each time I want to pick up some items, and it would be pretty helpful if I had a few bits and bobs over in this base as well. But those are some of my ideas. As far as the looks are concerned, I don't really know yet. I know that I'm going to half slab the ceiling so that we can cover up this dirt, because let's face it, that doesn't look too good, so that's going to be gone. As far as the floor is concerned, if we don't go for the wheat farm and we do go for the storage area, then I think we're going to go for a wooden plank half slab look, because that always works well. It may be a little bit boring, but in this situation I think it could be quite good. So I'm going to try and come up with some ideas, get my creative juices flowing once again, and we'll see what I can do. I'm going to let you in on a little bit of a secret. This is definitely not one of my favourite Minecraft builds, and I can't really put my finger on it. I think the actual style itself with these pillars here is very nice. I really do like the way that this looks. I think it looks lovely, in fact, and I can't wait to get some chests in between those ones, and then these ones here are just going to be for decoration. But I think the main problem that I have is this roof. This roof feels far too low. For no apparent reason. We are 3 blocks below the roof, but it just feels very low, and I think the main reason for that is because it hasn't been broken up. But I don't know how to break up this roof. What I was considering is a cobblestone sort of border going round, but then I realised that actually these are only 2 blocks apart, and what I was thinking is it could be like ziggity zaggedy, but it would turn out that it would just be 2 blocks deep, and that wouldn't really look too good, and it wouldn't really help in breaking it up. So I don't know what I am going to do here. Perhaps I could put some things going down in the middle. Oh, I have no idea. All I know is I don't like the way that this is. But I am going to roll with it because it works, it's functional, it's a lot better than the dirt at the minute. I would like you in the comment section to suggest some ideas for what I can do with this, because that would be really helpful, as I have absolutely no idea. But anyway, I'm now going to bung the chests in between these wooden pillars, and then this room will almost be all done. I don't know if we're going to add anything more to it. All of the items that I have now are in the chests down here. That of course all works well. They're just chests, of course they were going to work. So that's all done, and I am fairly happy with this little area we've got here. It's a nice little solution to the space problem that we had, because I was thinking to myself, where on earth am I going to put all of my chests? I was considering piling them all up inside of our watchtower, but then I thought about it and I was like, no, that's impractical. That'll be hell to use. Another thing that I have quickly just gone and done very fast is I have gone about bone mealing, placing down this long grass and also some trees. So I've done a little bit of planting there, and you can see it really does add to the place. I say this time and time again, but adding greenery is like the best thing that you can do for any sort of build. It really does just break it up, it adds something fresh, and it brings a whole new perspective to the build. And this is coming from someone that isn't really that particularly good at building, but I know for a fact that that does improve things. But anyway, for our final project today, I want to do something very quickly, and that is to build a little toll booth, a little place in which like the guard or whatever gets to sit and allow access in and out of our village. I think that'll be a really nice idea, a good way to end the episode. It's got to be pretty small, it's got to fit in this tiny little area that we have here, but I'm sure I can come up with something. So here it is. There are a few details that I just want to add, and I'll go and grab those in a second, but I really like this, and I have no idea why. There's just something about it that's really sweet. It might be the fact that it's next to our giant tower, and I might be predominantly looking at that in awe, but our little toll booth is details like this that really do make the difference, and this is like a prime example of that. We have a little building, absolutely tiny, but it really does, it takes up space that was available. Taking up space in towns like this is a great idea. If something feels jam-packed, then there's loads of stuff going on, there's plenty to look at, and people are always going to like those. And filling up this little space here was a good idea. But the toll booth itself is absolutely lovely, nice and detailed. It uses some cool blocks. Of course, it is the same old stone brick, cobblestone, stone half slabs. I haven't actually used any fence posts in this one, so there we go. That's unusual, I suppose. I mean, look at this thing. This uses all the usual blocks. But then again, it does look different to anything else that I've really built before. But anyway, I'm going to quickly hop on back over to my jungle base, pick up some item frames, some iron, and some gold, and then we should be finished with this one. Yet more details, and I love it. I really do think this has come together nicely now. Got obviously our little gold symbol to say throw me money, and then if you didn't catch that, you've also got pay before entering. We got the little iron bars here as security for the guy who doesn't actually exist, but the guy that is standing behind there in case someone like reaches over to punch him in the face because they're angry about having to pay to come into this lovely, lovely town. I mean, look at this, okay? We're just going to sit back. We're going to end the episode watching the sunset go past our pier. I hope that you did enjoy this one. I had a fantastic time recording it. I feel like we have got a decent amount of stuff done today. I mean, obviously, the Watchtower, we've got this little place done, and our toll booth. It was pretty good, and I'm very happy with all of the results of today's episode. But if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.